Welcome back, you guys. Alright, welcome back, you guys. This is part 2 of chapter 5, okay? So we're going to go ahead and continue right now, and this is probably going to be the last chapter that I read for tonight, because let me tell you, I am very tired right now. I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning again to go to work, and then of course I worked all day at job 1, and then I worked all day at job 2, so I am tired right now, so I'm sorry if I'm like saying words wrong or whatever, but I'm trying to do my best, y'all. Now be sure to comment and let me know what you guys think about the series so far. Let me know if you like a certain chapter or whatever. Anything that I can do to make the show more entertaining or improve the show, please let me know. I'm definitely open for ideas. I love ideas, so you guys let me know. Alright, let's continue. Alright, so how does the guy get into George's position? The girls travel in packs, exclaims Barkley. It's a very closed group. The models hang out in poses and live in groups in model apartments. They don't feel safe unless they go out together. It's intimidating to a guy. On the flip side, it works to your advantage, because if there are 20 models in the place, the one you want is not going to be the most beautiful. You have more of a chance. If there's just one, she's the most beautiful, and she can work it. When you go up to one in a group of 4 or 5, it makes the girl feel like she's better than the other girls. The trick is meeting one girl. The best way is, though, a mutual friend. Once a guy has access, once you get validated by one of the girls, says Mr. Flesky, then the guy gets beyond being an ordinary Joe. 3 years ago, George was at a club where he ran into a girl he knew from high school who was with the booker with an agency. He met some models. He had drugs. Eventually, they all went back to the model's apartment. He had enough to keep them going until 7 in the morning. He fooled around with one of them. The next day, she agreed to see him again, but only if all the other girls could come too. He took them all out to dinner. He kept going. That was the beginning of the obsession, he said. George knows all of the model apartments now, the places where, for $500 a month, a new model gets to sleep in a bunk bed in a cramped 2 or 3 bedroom apartment with 5 other girls. But he's got to keep up, because the girls come and go all the time. And you have to stay close to at least one girl in the apartment. Still, there's a free-flowing supply. It's easy, George says. He picks up the phone and dials a number. Hello, is Susan there? He asks. Susan's in Paris. Oh, he says, sounding disappointed. I'm an old friend of hers. In truth, he's known for her for 2 months. And I just got back into town myself. Damn, who's this? Sabrina. Hey, Sabrina, I'm George. They chat for about 10 minutes. We're thinking about going to Brewery Bar tonight, getting a group together. Do you want to come? Sure, why not, Sabrina says. You can practically hear her thumb pop out of her mouth. And who else is there with you, George asks. Do you think they might want to come too? George hangs up the phone. It's actually better if there are more guys than girls when you go out, he says. If there are more girls, they get competitive with each other. They get quiet. If a girl has seen a guy and she lets the other girls know, it can be a mistake. She thinks the girls she's living with are her friends, but they're not. They're girls she just met who happen to be in the same situation. Girls try to steal guys all the time. There are a lot of bandits out there, says Mr. Flitsky. George says he has a system. There's a hierarchy of sexual availability in the model apartments, he says. Williamina girls are the easiest. Willie tends to get girls who grew up in mobile homes or the East End of London. Elite, they have 2 apartments, one uptown, on 86th Street and one downtown on 16th. They keep the nice girls in the uptown apartment. The girls in the downtown apartment are friendlier. Girls who live with Eli Ford are untouchable. One reason is that Eileen's maid hangs up if you call. A lot of these girls live between 28th Street and Union Square. There's Zuckerdorf Towers on 15th and a place on 22nd and Park Avenue South. The older models who work a lot tend to live on the east side. Thing, a model. Or this is a modelizer glossary, as they call it. Thing, a model. Civilian, women who are not models. We talk about it all the time, how hard it is to go back to civilians, says George. You never met them or make an attempt to meet them. It's easier to get a model in the bed than it is to get a civilian with a career to put out, says Sandy. Sandy is an actor with brilliant green eyes. Civilians, they want stuff from guys. Things dissected. Thursday night at Barrillo, Mark Baker, the restaurateur and promoter, is throwing one of his special parties. Here's how it works. The promoters have a relationship with the agencies. The agencies know the promoters are safe, i.e., they're going to take care of their girls, entertain them. In turn, the promoters need the modelizers to take the girls out. The promoters don't always have the money to take the girls out to dinner. The modelizers do. Someone's got to feed them. The modelizer meets someone like Mr. Rowe. Mr. Rowe wants girls. The modelizers want girls, and they also want to hang out with Mr. Rowe. Everyone is happy. Outside on this Thursday night, there's a pandemonium on the sidewalk. People pushing, trying to get the attention of a tall, mean-looking guy who could be part Oriental, part Italian. Inside, the place is jammed. Everyone is dancing. Everyone is tall and beautiful. You talk to a girl with a fake European accent, then a girl from Tennessee who just returned from a trip back home. I was wearing bell-bottoms and platform shoes, and my old boyfriend said, "Carolyn, what the hell are you wearing?" And I said, "Get with it, honey. This is New York." Jack slides by and starts talking. Even if they're dumb, models are very manipulative. You can split them into three types. One, the new girls in town. They're usually really young, 16, 17. They go out a lot. They might not work that much. They want something to do. They need to meet people, like photographers. Two, the girls who work a lot, they're a little older, 21 and up. They've been in the business for 5 years. They never go out. They travel a lot. You almost never see them. And three, the supermodels. They're looking for a big-time guy who can do something for them. They're all obsessed with money, maybe because their careers are insecure. They won't even look at a guy who has less than 20 or 30 mil. Plus, they have the big girl complex. They won't hang out with any girl who's not a top model, and they ignore other models or bitch about them. You go down to the bathroom with Jack and hang out in the men's room. By the time they get to 21, these girls have tons of baggage, says Jack. They have a history. Children, guys they've slept with, guys you don't like. Most of them come from broken homes or fucked up backgrounds. They're beautiful, but in the end, they don't do anything for you. They're young, they're uneducated, they have no values, you know? I prefer the older ones. You have to find one without baggage, and I'm on the search. Get one, get them all. The trick is to get with one big girl, like a Hunter Reno or Jana Rhodes, says George. These are girls who have done covers in Europe. If you get one, you can get them all. At a nightclub, you pay attention to the older girls. They always want to go home early because they have to get up and work. You walk them to a cab, being a gentleman, then you go back in and attack the young ones. These girls just want to be comfortable, says Mr. Flisky. They're so young. They're just finding their way in a grown-up world. They're not fully developed, and they meet these guys who know all the tricks. How hard can it be? Back in the loft, Barkley opens a bottle of Coke and sits on a stool in the middle of the room. You think, who's prettier than a model? But they're not so smart. They're flaky and fucked up. They're a lot looser than you think. It's way easier to screw a model than a regular girl. That's what they do all the time. It's the way regular people are when they're on vacation. They're away, so they do things they wouldn't normally do. But these girls are away all the time because they travel from place to place. So that's what they're like all the time. Barkley takes a sip from his Coke and scratches his stomach. It's 3 in the afternoon and he just woke up an hour ago. These girls are nomads, he says. They have a guy in every city. They call me when they're in New York. And I always imagine that they call someone else when they're in Paris or Rome and Marseille. We pretend that we're going out when they're in town. We hold hands and see each other every day. A lot of girls want that, but then they're gone, Barkley yawned. I don't know. There are so many beautiful girls around that after a while you start looking for someone who can make you laugh. It's amazing sometimes what you'll do to get with one of these girls, George says. I went to church with one girl and her daughter. I started to hang out with older girls almost exclusively. I've got to retire soon. They keep me from getting work done. They make me fuck up my life. George shrugged and glanced out the window of his 34th floor office at the view of Midtown Manhattan. Look at me, he says. I'm an old man at 29. Alright, you guys. So there you go. That is the end of chapters 4 and 5 for tonight, you guys. And I am tired. It is 12:26 a.m. I got to catch up on everybody's videos. Got to check out Kev's camping trip. Got to check out Angie's videos for today. I want to say hi to Lisa Love and Your Pleasures. Hello. Because, of course. And, of course, my fabulous friend Pink. Yes, she has a new store. You guys should check that definitely out online. I believe she has a few links to it. But anyway, you guys, thank you for tuning in to tonight's Sex in the City series. Like I said, let me know your comments. Let me know if there's anything that I can do to help make the show a lot more entertaining. And maybe a different way of reading. I don't know. But whatever you have to say, good things, of course, let me know. Alright, you guys, it's time for that ending song. You know what it is. And so, as I say, good night, you guys. I will be back on tomorrow for the Joy of Gay Sex series on Charlie's Unique channel. And for another fabulous chapter reading of Sex in the City, you guys. So be sure to tune in and holla back. Good night, you guys, and thank you for tuning in. Holla!